and welcome to Money, Me and COVID-19, where we meet with leaders from the world of business, finance, investment and politics to find out what's really going on during this pandemic and what we can do to position ourselves to survive in the short term, hopefully thrive as we come out the other end. My guest today is one of that rare breed who managed to straddle the worlds of academia and business and be highly regarded in both. He's program director at the Cranfield School of Management, and he's a visiting professor with 2 universities, but he's also a no-nonsense consultant to companies like Google and Barclays. He's been described as a latter-day John Harvey Jones, and he's the author of 10 books, including Grow Your Digital Agency, Grow Your Service Firm, Right Marketing for Small Businesses, and Customer is King. And in 2018, based on the Grow Your Digital Agency book, he launched a GYDA initiative, and that's helped over 1,000 agencies in 20 countries to add 50% to their revenue and to more than double their EBITDA. His name is Robert Craven. Robert, welcome to Money and Me.
Oh, thank you very much, Graham. Absolutely great to be here.
Well, you know, I tell you what, Robert, I mean, given that the internet's been around for 25 years, why has it taken a global pandemic for so many businesses to realize they've got to start getting a bit strategic about their online presence?
Well, that's a great question, a great opening question. I'm not sure if they have got strategic about their online presence. Otherwise, they'd have done that years ago. I think they've got tactical about their online presence. So yes, I totally get that. Suddenly you can't sell stuff in the high street, you need to do it online. So people are going, oh my word, how can we do that? And I totally get, you know, oh my word, people can't go into the office, they can work from home. And it does actually work. But it's not really been strategic, it's been knee-jerk. And, you know, it's in some senses, a lot of the work that I've been doing with digital agencies, it's been like, you know, the canary in the coal mine. They've been at the front doing it before anyone else. But I don't think it's been done strategically. I think it's been done for the wrong reasons. I think that had they done this 5-10 years ago, had they set things in motion, it would have been a lot more comfortable for them. So was it strategic? I don't think it was. It's becoming strategic. Because if you recall, you know, March 17th roughly, it was like, oh my God, all my customers are stopping buying from me, and they want to slow down. And then, oh my God, all my suppliers are going bust all over the place. Oh my God, how am I going to reach my customers? So I think the change was pretty tactical. I wish it had been more strategic. I wish people had sat down and thought about what is it that customers really want, as opposed to the usual, how can I sell more stuff? So yeah, I don't think it was strategic, really.
I kind of, the business owners I've spoken to seem to fall into 2 camps. There's those who have really successfully managed to pivot very quickly, and there's those that have sort of buried their head in the sands and relying on furlough schemes, and they're hoping it all just kind of goes away. I don't know what your experience has been. Have you seen both of those, and have you seen any particularly good pivots that you think would be helpful case studies?
Oh, great question. So firstly, I mean, we did a little survey of our clients. We did 190, 200 clients. We had 50% above the line. In other words, we're doing okay or very well, and 50% beneath the line. In other words, we're not doing very well. When you actually broke it down, you had 15% who were thriving, doing really, really well, you know, and they tended to be involved with online gambling, bicycle manufacture, those kind of grocery stores, clothing manufacture. 15% thriving, 35% surviving. In other words, it ain't great, but it isn't the very worst year ever, and I'll keep quiet to keep going. And then beneath the line, 40% struggling and 10% dying. Now, the interesting thing about the strugglers, and you and I both have a similar color of hair and age, is that the strugglers, I think, are disproportionately large. I think more people think they're struggling. It's like the joke about my best friend thinks he's dying. I think more people think they're struggling than they really are struggling. And that's because a lot of them have not been through a recession before. They don't know what 3 years of grind is like. They don't know what 3 years of decreased demand is like. And they're just petrified about the uncertainty as they look at their business hour by hour. So I think more people are claiming to be struggling than they really are. But I think it's a really interesting thing. So the people who are doing really well, as I said, online gambling, bikes, groceries. People doing really badly. We know I chair the board of 11 cocktail bars. Wow, that's been the amazing thing about that was on March the 1st, we were trying to work out if we sold the business. God, that's an awful lot of millions of pounds we're all going to have to distribute, or they're going to distribute. By March the 17th, it was, I think the business is worth £1, guys. And by March the 30th, it's, you need to go and talk to your wives and tell them about the possibility of us all being bankrupt. And then by April the 10th, and furlough had come in, and C-bills had come in, and so on and so forth. It was like, hey, we have a valuable business again, and we can get going. And in fact, we're one of the few cocktail bars who are doing really, really well, and we can start planning for the future. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
And what do you think of the way the government's responded to the crisis and the sort of chopping and changing of rules we're seeing almost on a daily basis?
Well, I guess they've done the right thing. If you read The Economist, they absolutely did the right thing, which is throw money at the problem and not worry about when you pay for it. It is silly money, like as in nobody really understands where the money comes from or where it goes and how it's manufactured or produced. And I've got a degree in economics. I got an MBA, and I struggle to really understand how the economy actually works. I suspect that the MPs who are professional and politicians, they're not economists, they're not skilled, they're not knowledgeable in the field, they're dependent on their civil servants, are just doing the best they can. But as you quite rightly point out, we're going left, we're going right, we're going up, we're going down. It's a problem, it's not a problem. That level of uncertainty, I think, has been shocking for people. It's been really, really, really hard. If you just go back to the cocktail bars, and you were sort of talking about pivots. So what made all its money between 12 and midnight and opens at 6, now opens at 8 and does breakfast. So we're open four times longer with a quarter of the staff in each shift. So you're actually doing okay. And then they say you can only have parties of less than whatever it is, 10. So you create tables of 10, and then they say it's 6, and then it's got to be, and then you can't, and then you eat, and then so the pivoting thing, and now we're doing late night cinema or early night cinema now. So you're changing, and the great thing about that is it's that kind of entrepreneurial spark, that buzz and excitement that we all had in our first businesses is back. And what worries me is that sort of half the businesses, three-quarters of the businesses I see go on about resilience, and it's tough, and it's a long game, and we're not quite sure, and the bloody government, and the bloody staff, and the bloody furlough. And there's not even a quarter who see the excitement and the opportunity that's there. You've got to make the best of a good recession, either in terms of how you reorganize your business or in terms of new opportunities. But I think the opportunities are there. Going back to the beginning, the great opportunity is to be the first one that it can be accessed digitally. And whether that's I've just been working with a company that's created different chili sauces, and it's beautiful, and the packaging's awesome, and the flavors are fantastic, and that's all come out of lockdown. And there are so many new ways of doing things. I think actually people are too narrow in their thinking. They're thinking, this is my business and this is what I do. Oh, I'll think an extra 20% out of the box, but they're not actually thinking, how can I add awesome value to my customer? What is it that my customer really wants to get awesome value? As opposed, they're thinking, I'm a car driver, I drive a car, and then you say, hey, you could drive a motorbike. And they're going, no, but I'm a car driver. Well, you could drive a tricycle or a push bike. They're thinking too much about, I have a hammer, therefore all problems are nails. And they're not thinking about the stuff from their customer point of view.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, if you look at almost the history of the internet, it's been the accidental discovery of entirely new business models, disintermediation and all the rest of it. And it feels to me like we're still, even 25 years on, discovering new ways of using this online capability. And perhaps the most obvious one in recent months has been the move away from offices and commuting in big cities. And lots of people think, actually, I rather like this lifestyle of working from home, and my company are telling me I'm more productive than I was in the office. So is this another kind of mini revolution we're witnessing in 2020, do you think?
Well, it is. So one, it's early days. It's very early days, and it is still, although we don't realise it, I think it's pretty Wild West. It is, but it is a new industrial revolution. And whether you look at the work of Naomi Klein or any of the kind of the futurists, there's a real, and the new social economy that's just come out, the new Netflix movie. There's a whole train of thought that this digital thing has got us addicted to these blinking things in a way that we're not even realize. At a higher level, the new oil is data, and you look at how the big 5 platforms are managing massaging data, and they're managing and massaging our decision making. It has always been thus. In some senses, why do you drive a Mercedes and not an Audi? Has been because you've been influenced by advertising. But the advertising now is way more sophisticated to get you to lean in and do things. And I think we don't fully understand the power. We've got elections coming up. We don't understand the power of the influence. Even if Facebook say we will decide what we're going to take down, they are by definition deciding what is bad. So it's not politicians who are saying Black Lives Matter is good or Black Lives Matter is bad, or extreme right wing or extreme left wing post is good or bad. It's a privately owned companies making those decisions about what's put in front of people. So I think that is going to become bigger and bigger and more of a problem. Who runs our lives? Who influences our consumer behaviors? Are we? Because it does feel that there is a theory that says we are just their playthings. We are just data that they're using to put in front of people who are buying their advertising, whether it be whichever platform you're looking at.
Well, I think one of the great benefits of an online presence is it means anyone can compete with the big boys, and it's kind of a level playing field. But equally, when everyone jumps online, it becomes a kind of a battle for people's attention. And I just wonder, from your experience of working with so many digital marketing agencies, what are you seeing now works for the benefit of the business owners that are watching us? What are you seeing that works in terms of getting your message out there and getting people's attention amongst all the noise that's going on online?
So this is strategic, and this is also strategy 101. So who is your customer? I mean, not just everyone, but very tightly. Who is your customer, your potential customer? What is their problem, hurt, need, itch, scratch, want? When do they have it? Why do they have it? And from your side, you find a solution, a razor-sharp solution that solves those people's specific problems, a niche within a niche within a niche. So you don't do strategy, you don't just do strategy for professional service firms. You do strategy for digital marketing agencies with between 15 and 50 staff who have a problem with measuring and evaluating their plans. So one, you answer very specific questions rather generally. I think once you've got that piece nailed, and I think that's really tough, it's like, why should people bother to buy from you when they can buy from the competition? That question, no one can ever answer it. Why should people bother to buy from you when they can buy from the competition, when the competition's cheaper, faster, smarter, friendlier? And then the issue about the how, for me, is what makes you different from the rest. And let's not get drawn into the Simon Sinek nonsense about purpose, or you can draw me in. That's a bit of a red rag to me. But what people are buying is this sense of who they're buying from, the authenticity feeling. There is only one Graham, and whether I like his wit and humour or not, I know that if I buy from Graham, I'm getting Grahamness. And I think we need to make a feature of who we are, because saying all the competitors of Graham, if Operation Business Graham, are all identical. All their websites are identical. They all say we add value for money. Our clients are 95% happy, we're award winning, we're best in class. And what makes us really different from everyone else is our obsession with customer service. Well, clearly, you're not different from everyone else. You're the same as everyone else, because you have these blinking Me Too websites and blinking Me Too value propositions, which are incredibly dull as ditch water. So in order to stand out, the only thing that makes Grahamness unique is how Graham does stuff. So, the business called Graham needs to get the Graham bit, whatever that is, out there. And so this is kind of a clarion call for two things. One, for proper one-to-one engagement wherever and however you can, and maybe it's one-to-one, one-to-few, as we're doing now, but actually being visible and available so people can understand your incredible taste in shirts and your incredible wit and repartee. And I think the other thing that people miss out is how people feel. How do you feel at the moment about the products and services you're getting at the moment? I feel really, really let down and disappointed. How would you like to feel? I would like to feel that I could go to my FD and guarantee that I can hit on those results. And you just say nothing, just stare them in the eye and you say, we can do that. And it kind of takes away everything else which are building. So the other building, there are building blocks of making the sale, over business benefit, dramatic difference, real reason to believe you can deliver. That's statistically all totally relevant, that you need that stuff in place. But it's the touchy thing, the relationship rather than the transaction, especially for independent businesses.
I think in a way that's encouraging, because in a sense you're saying to avoid the kind of dull, boring, corporate image that a lot of larger companies tend to have. And I think you're saying there's a space there for more agile and perhaps more personality-driven kind of businesses to make a big impact without needing the resources behind them of those corporate giants.
But that personality can be boring. You can be, I am the boring painter, or it can be I am the only, graphics artist that wears a suit and tie. It doesn't have to be crazy flamboyant. I'm just saying it's about nailing those one-to-one relationships when everyone is claiming to be similar. And I think people just don't believe the marketing mantras that claim they're going to be faster, smarter, better, brighter. They know that the purpose statement by the Big Four bank was produced by Accenture for £2 million. They know when they see the TV ad saying, and COVID, blinking hell, COVID, everyone jumps on the we're here because we care. No, you're not. You're not here because you care. You're here because you're trying to increase your shareholder value year on year. And the way you can do that is by getting us into your store. So don't tell me you care about me, because if you did care, you'd have more people on your telephone line, you'd have more people behind the counters, and your shelves would be full. So don't give me that.
Indeed, no, and if I hear one more time that every journey counts to the Mayor of London, when all he does is hike up the congestion charge and get me out of all of
yeah. And I think one of the things that's happened with this government is that it's become apparent, that weasel words of, I mean, we play weasel word bingo here, but the weasel words about we're doing everything physically possible in this unprecedented time to blah, blah, blah. No, but the fact of the matter is, track and trace doesn't work. World class. We don't need world class. We just need good enough. We don't need world class. Nobody ever asked for world class. We just wanted something that works. So
going back to kind of companies and their online presence, what do you think might change as a result of COVID, and what do you think will stay the same in terms of how people should address their online?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think one of the interesting things is there's this real almost psychotic behavior by customer. So we want, on the one hand, we want everything faster. On the other hand, we want it slower. So on the one hand, we want frictionless purchase. I see a book, that's a nice book, click, I want it here tomorrow morning. I want to go to the dentist, I've got an appointment. Okay, I want to meet you, find a time, click, it's done. So on the one hand, we want this incredible frictionless, ease of use, ease of access thing. But on the other hand, there's a real demand for slower, for meditation, for yoga, for enjoying a meal and appreciating the individual contents that have been put in, going for a walk, swimming in the sea, spending time with kids, and family values. And I think COVID has ironically turned the volume up, turned the brightness, turned the contrast up between these amazing things that can do so much so quickly and raise our heart rate and our everything levels of excitement and disappointment, as you go, why won't my Google Calendar talk to my Microsoft Calendar? What is so difficult? So on the one hand, they make everything faster and brighter and faster and raise our expectations, to the nth degree. And I think that's what kind of a lot of digital advertising kind of plays on. I can help you make more money, have more time, be more relaxed, whatever it is I can make you do. But I think on the other hand, there's this real, I suppose it's the campaign for real relationships, campaign for real coffee, campaign for real, whatever it is. So we have these conflicts. I think COVID has made us, last year I did 19 transatlantic flights. This year in 6 months, I haven't even been to an airport. I've never slept in the same bed so many times ever, not since I was a child. So I think COVID has given us some grounding in what the real values are. I'm going to use that ghastly word, authentic, which I hate, but that's the only word that describes it. And at the same time, it gives us stuff really quickly. So it's nothing more exciting than someone tells you the name of a video and you can go and watch it now, or a book and you can go and do it now, or a holiday destination and you can go and book it now. That's stunning. That's the good stuff that the internet's brought us. Internet version 3. The next version is going to be more scary because our fridges and our cookers and our everything's going to be controlled. And then you've got all this kind of AI kind of stuff coming in. So so you can't fight it, so relish it where you can.
In my own experience as a business owner, I've worked with a number of marketing agencies, of digital marketing agencies, had very mixed results. Now, you kind of work with over 1,000. What if there's business owners watching us that know they need to be, more strategic in their online presence? They want to get some help. What kind of criteria should they use to select the right digital marketing agency for them?
That is a great question. I'm quite a fan of, so for me, I'll rephrase that. So they need to walk the talk, smoke their own dope, call whatever phrase you want to use. So they need to demonstrate really simply overt business benefit. Clients who work with us see a 33% increase in turnover in 6 months, or whatever it is. They need to demonstrate a real reason to believe that they can deliver, testimonials, case studies, so on and so forth. And there needs to be some kind of a dramatic difference. We're the only ones we're the first, we're the best, we have the money back guarantee, whatever it is. And then there's the connection and the engagement. And by smoke their own dope, when you go to their website, within 3 seconds, you need to know, I'm in the right place. This is aimed at me. So it doesn't say, we work with small business, big businesses, startups, government agencies, international, local, but it says we work with professional services, or we work with entrepreneurs. I am in the right place. And then, for me, I think there's a real thing about customer service and attention to detail there. And more, although agencies don't seem to be picking up on it, there's a kind of a philosophy called they ask, we answer, which means that you don't have to go to the meeting to find out how much it costs, to find out typically what they do, to find out what might go wrong, to find out if I'm the right sort of. That sort of information should be on their websites, be it by video or blog, whatever it is. Because if I'm going to spend 10, 20, 30, 50,000 pounds with an agency, just like buying a car, I'm going to do some research, and they should understand the customer journey. They should understand how the customer feels, what the customer's looking for, and so on and so forth. And then, so if they get all that stuff right, then I would just go and talk to 3 or 4 of their clients. Just either who should I talk to, or look at who they've quoted. Because the number of, I know you see so many agencies that say they've worked with Google, or they've worked with Barclays, or so on and so forth. And when it actually transpires, they worked in a little minor office and they did a little piece of work for 500 quid, but it's appeared on the front of their site as if their key client is that big blue chip. And I think you just need to make sure you're working with someone that you get on with.
And I think one of the challenges that the internet throws up in a way is there are now so many channels, and there's always the shiny new object syndrome. Yep. Oh, I need to be on Facebook, and no, I need to be on Instagram. No, it's TikTok. It's really can be overwhelming to think. Do you see the most successful people online having a very clear focus that they're only going to tackle 1 or 2 of these platforms?
Well, the most successful are where their customers are. That makes sense. So there's all this ha about Bing being dreadful. But if you're trying to attract non-techie 50 to 70-year-olds, go to Bing, because they buy their computer, and they turn it on, and there's Bing because it's part of Microsoft, and they think that's Google, and so Bing would be the place for you to be. But if you're trying to sell to hip hop people, then you need to be somewhere different. So it's kind of be where your customers are. And how do you find out? You ask them where they are, you ask them where they go, and find out where they are. But yeah, I think the trouble we all face is wherever you go, it says, you can triple your sales in 20 days with my 6-step wonder process. Everyone is selling to the needy. Everyone's selling silver bullets, and it's really difficult for someone not to be distracted by, because you see that advert 10 times in one day saying, if you go on, as you say, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, and we guarantee you'll double your sales within 10 days. And you need, what we need is an honest broker, someone who tells us it as it is. And I think why we go to experts is because an expert says, for your business, bearing in mind what you're trying to sell and to whom and what it is that they want, the best way of us engaging with them is here or here or here. I just think that, again, too many people have a hammer, you know, disgracefully too many people have a hammer, and therefore, yeah, oh, we do £20,000 websites. You must have a £20,000 website. Okay. And not enough people do this holistic, back to the start of the conversation, strategic thing where they say, yeah, Mr. Mrs. Business Owner, you know, let's just try and understand what you're trying to do with your business and your product and why people would buy it and when they would buy it and the price point, and let's just so have we got all that stuff right? So there's no point me selling you a website or a Google ad campaign if you haven't got that bit sorted out. And not enough people do that overview thing. People just say, oh, you want an Instagram campaign, £2,000 a month? Done. Oh, you want a TikTok campaign, £5,000 a month? Yeah, we can do that. As opposed to saying, well, actually, you're not ready for that. And I think you get more respect by saying, actually, I understand you want to do these things, but the way in which your product or your service is packaged doesn't communicate its benefits and its additional benefits to people. So people won't buy it because when they come to your website, it'll be disappointing. So you need to go away, fix your website, and then come back to us, and then we can talk about the tactics. Back to strategy against tactics.
Okay. So as we come towards the end of our time together, Robert, I think one of the sad consequences, I suspect, of COVID is that a lot of people will lose their jobs. Many of them may think about, therefore, perhaps starting their own business. Now, you recently wrote a very revealing blog post about the 50 biggest mistakes that you've made in your career. I wonder if I could kind of combine these 2 points and say to anyone watching us who's thinking of starting a business, you know, what are the kind of mistakes, the biggest mistakes to avoid from your own experience?
Biggest mistakes off the top of my head, there are so many. Put your bloody prices up. You're too cheap. I don't care what your prices are. Put your prices up. Okay, if you put your prices up, you make more margin. You can invest in the future of the business. You put your prices up. It's a real clear marker that you mean business. If you put your prices up, people think there's a statement of value. If you put your prices up, you have more time and money to make the product great. I didn't sack people quickly enough. They know who they are. But I didn't sack them quick enough because, yeah, I thought it would turn out okay. If people aren't okay after 2 months, they're not going to be better after a year. They are the wrong people. Hire for the smile. You know, the attitude is absolutely crucial. If they've got the wrong attitude, they're never going to be good. Talk money with people. Talk money really early on. People respect you if you say, this product's going to cost you £23,000 over 2 years, but your benefit to you is going to be £72,000 per year. Have the tough conversations. Radical candor. Have the tough conversations. I hoped they would happen or something would sort itself out, and it didn't. So that's not about bullying. It's just about honesty. Don't be afraid to say you're totally wrong, tear up the paper and start again in a totally different way. Two other ones I think I'll say. One is about giving a shit, if you don't mind the language. I mean, if you don't care, just pack up and go home, which is linked to my final thing, which is it's incredibly exciting. It's incredibly exciting waking up in the morning and knowing that there is kind of no rule book and that it's up to you to create something that turns people on, that excites people, that makes them want to, they believe your promise and they want to buy from you. That is an incredibly creative and exciting thing. And in COVID, too many people are doom and gloom, and they can't see the luxury of being able to create or recreate our future, because it doesn't have to be as narrow as it has been for the last 10 years. You can do anything you want, and there is stuff out there that people still want to buy and to buy from you.
Fantastic. Well, that's great philosophy to end on. Robert Craven, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed.